love your hat. I love it. I love it. Hi, I'm Ann Lucente. I'm filling in
Cheryl
today.
Cheryl knows me, but this is Ann Lucente, fellow voiceover and friend as well. And this is Sheryl Faye. Um,
Hi, so
yeah,
nice to meet you. I'm so happy I got to fill in for Jess, who couldn't
yeah,
be here today.
I know. I know. I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on Jess, but Jess gave me the approval. She said, you can do it this one time. I know Cheryl is an actor. I know this because I met her about 27 years ago and we performed together for quite a few years in improv shows, murder mysteries, that sort of thing, team bonding. Uh, She's a wonderful actress, voice talent, and she's also um, she has a BFA in acting, right, from Emerson. Is that correct? Yep. So she's actually got the schooling behind it, which I do not. So good job on you. And so that Jess and I recently did an episode about finding your niche or niche. We couldn't figure out how you say it. Finding your niche, or one of your niches, and kind of like genres and different things. I know, you were mainly an actor, you did do some voiceover, but you kind of fell into this really kind of unique thing you do a lot of now. And Cheryl travels the world and does these, how would I put them? I should probably let you describe it. But I did want to mention all the people you probably know them better than me. So I'm going to let you tell us what you do, Cheryl. That's so kind of interesting. And also, which we love on the show, empowering to women and girls around the world. So
Yeah.
take it away.
Okay, thank you. So yes, I have my own company. Sheryl Faye Presents Historical Women, and I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary this year. So very excited and grateful. I started with a company based in Chicago after I graduated from Emerson, and they had historical performers in Boston, Minnesota, and Chicago, but just in schools. And then they retired about 10 years ago. So then I kind of decided, you know what, either I'm going to try it on my own or I'm never going to try it on my own. So I took a leap of faith because my degree is not in marketing, it's in acting. And it has really grown, and I couldn't be more grateful. So now I perform for a lot more than just schools. I perform for libraries, historical societies, senior centers, women's groups, church groups, temples, birthday parties, Girl Scout troops, you name it, I've done it. And yes, I go all over the country now, performing for children and adults, which is just fantastic and really a dream come true. And I almost feel like it was all laid out because ever since I was little, I started performing one woman shows at my house. I turned the back porch into a summer theater and the
Yeah,
bathroom
of
into the
course.
box office.
Wait, what was the bathroom again?
The box office.
The
That was,
box office.
yes.
I love it.
That's awesome.
My mother had a subscription to every show,
Of
and she
course.
was there outside getting eaten by bugs with my dolls and stuffed animals. And I had instruction paper sets and a little Dixie cup of water for the sad scenes.
Oh my
Precious.
gosh.
And
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and so I feel like it was kind of always meant to be. I've always had a love of theater. My training is theater, and I've always had a love of history too, and that definitely comes from my mom as well. So it's just been wonderful. And you're right. I hope to empower young children, boys and girls,
Yeah.
to learn more about these women, to read more about these women, to be more like these women. But also which is a little unusual too, I always go back to the childhood in my shows because I feel like we're all impacted and influenced by our childhood, and so were these women. And we know them as famous adults, but we don't always know a lot about their childhood. So I always show that, to show everyone, what obstacles did they overcome to get to where they became, these
Huh.
famous women. But they didn't just
Wow.
get there, they,
Yeah.
like we all do. How did they overcome them? Did it stop them? Did it push them? Did it drive them? And to kind of show a little bit of their exploration along the way in their journey and path.
I don't think I
Wow.
knew that. Like
Wow.
I've seen maybe three. I saw Eleanor Roosevelt.
Mhm.
I've seen Helen Keller now. What was the other? I think I might have seen Amelia Earhart. I think I've seen those three. I really want to see Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, and she does let me read the list here because I do
Okay.
have it written out so you don't have to remember. Let me see. Let's see.
Oh, I know it though.
Oh, you do know it. You know what? Maybe that would be better.
So Helen Keller, Amelia Earhart, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Eleanor Roosevelt, Abigail Adams, Anne Frank, Susan B. Anthony, Clara Barton, Sally Ride, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and coming this November, Queen Elizabeth II to celebrate my 20th anniversary. I'm very, very excited. She will be my biggest show yet. So
Really?
it's a yes.
Wow. This
been a
is
lot.
so amazing. So amazing. When Michelle told me, and I had never seen anything or known, have never known you. So I went and looked some things up and I was like, I'm so intrigued. And I kept looking. I was like, this is amazing. And I just watched a few clips and where you change clothes in the middle of it and the reviews you got and the people, how they commented on, like, they don't even realize that you're a one woman show because how you take over everything. They forget totally that you're just one person up there, which is so
Right.
amazing. So
Right.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. But I do always acknowledge that there are people behind me that let me do what I love most, which is the acting part. I do write the shows, but I'm the only actor in the company. However, I have an incredibly talented woman who makes all my costumes, and
Wonderful.
the gentleman who does all my sound effects, sound design, composing. I typically do the voices for the women characters. However, in the Queen, I am sharing the limelight a little bit with that. And so the Queen has even more multimedia aspects. Every show has been a little different and has kind of pushed me, but the Queen has, as it should be. So it's a big show to celebrate a big anniversary, and I'm excited and grateful. So
And
That's
voiceover
amazing.
has a place in these shows. There is, like, I know there's a voice track on some of the ones I've seen. I mean, yeah, right?
yes,
That
oh,
so
in
that
all of them.
kind of interweaves into it. Yeah.
Right.
On the Helen Keller one, it was the whole thing, because she couldn't speak.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I
right.
did learn how to speak a little bit, but I don't speak very much in the show. So
Right.
yeah, so that one's structured slightly differently.
Yeah.
But all the other shows, you're right. There are voiceovers done throughout the show that I interact with,
Yes.
so it helps to fill. So I'm not just a person in a costume talking about these people. It's all
Right.
done first person, and I'm interacting with the voiceovers so you feel like, oh, she's really talking to her father, or whoever it might be. So
Yeah.
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 And can I mean, other than hiring you to do things or being in the places that you are there ways to see like a whole
So
production or not really?
Well, I mean, aside from coming to a public show, which is on my website,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I do my best to post public shows. I
Right.
do have them all, because of COVID. I didn't have this before, but I do have them all professionally pre-recorded. So I do still continue to sell those a little bit. I've a
Oh,
couple,
nice.
actually, couple libraries in Illinois that hired them, and I just did one recently for a school in Seattle. So that was fun. So
so
again, it's just so great that I can continue to reach other places if I'm not
Yeah.
physically there.
Mhm.
So they're able to just watch it as a video, as if a video, and they pay for
That's
the
great.
video. That's
That's
good to know.
great.
We're going to put
That
in
is
show
good to
notes.
know.
We're
Yep.
going to put like links to all of your website, all of the ways to reach you, and
Yeah.
any way to hire you. But I know firsthand that she's amazing. And not just
Wow.
because I've worked with her for a long time. I was like, when they were near me, I've come to these shows in the Massachusetts area, and yeah, I did not. So I learned something new today. I did not know you. I did not connect that you kind of have the perspective of them as a young age. Like, I didn't, that never connected to me till you just said that. I was like, oh, that's true. So that's an
Yeah, so
interesting.
you'll always see me do that in my shows, to go back to the childhood and then back to an adult again, to kind of give you a glimpse, because
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of times we just know them as adults, but
right.
they didn't just become these famous women. So I think it's interesting and hopefully inspiring to kind of connect those dots.
And Cheryl's really good about she like really tries to infuse and learn about and really like, what do you call that? Ingrained, there's a word for that. Like,
Immerse.
Immerse.
Yeah.
Immerse yourself. Thank you for the, I'm a voiceover. I do words for a living, but you wouldn't know that. Immerse yourself into each of the characters and learn as much as you can. I know you went to Amsterdam to see
I,
the Anne Frank house, right?
I did, which was just incredible. And anytime I can physically go to where any of my ladies lived, worked, any of that kind of tactile, tangible, to really get into their skin and get an idea of who they were and what they went through is my favorite. So yes,
And you read and watch, you read stuff, you watch stuff. Didn't you have like a funny story where they weren't supposed to let someone in, but they let you in because you were like, by the way, this is what I do for a living or something?
when I went to the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., we took a tour, and I wanted to see that's where Helen Keller is buried with Annie Sullivan and her other helper, Polly Thompson. But they don't really show you where they're buried. It's just a wall with a plaque.
Okay.
But that wasn't good enough for me. So I went to the tour guide and I told her what I did. And she said, "Can you come back at 12?" And I said, "Yes." And so she took these big keys and she unlocked two doors. And I got to see actually where their ashes were. So
love that
where they're really laid to rest. So that was a
Oh,
great honor.
wow.
Yeah, I've had really beautiful experiences. I feel like with all of my ladies, one way or the other. Eleanor Roosevelt, a lot of incredible experiences performing at the Tuskegee Airmen Museum, the 75th anniversary of Eleanor Roosevelt taking, which Eleanor's birthday was yesterday. Happy belated birthday!
Happy
Eleanor.
birthday, Eleanor.
Happy
But yeah,
birthday.
just really, yeah, it's just really touching. It
Aw.
brings me even closer to and I love them.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh,
awesome.
I so would love to come to this is a great reason to visit my friend Michelle, who I've not seen in person, and to also see a show. So when you're in that area, we're gonna coordinate.
Okay, that
That
sounds
would be so great.
Sounds
I
like
would
a good,
You're only 3 hours from me, I think. So it's
right?
okay. I could do it. I could do
I
it.
know. She's
Yeah.
like, you're in New York, right? Aren't
I'm
you?
in
Or
New
New
York.
Jersey? Yeah,
New
she's
York.
yeah.
Mhm.
Cheryl's in New York all the
I am. Yeah.
time.
Oh,
I
great.
thought she might show up as one of her characters, but I didn't
Oh,
think she
I
would.
know.
I was like, she's not going to do that.
I
I
know.
asked her if she wanted
I
to.
don't have a show today. I have my trolleys tonight in Salem. So
Good. Yeah,
Oh.
she does a different show.
always doing.
You do like I have asked you this before where you're like, oh, I have like 3 or 4 shows in a day. And I'm like, so she's getting dressed and like undressed and like changed and put a set up for
Wow.
multiple. I'm like, God bless you, girl. You got that energy. I don't
Yeah,
know how you do it.
a lot of times it'll be multiple shows. If they're in the same place, it's easy. Like for schools, a lot of times I've done 4 different characters in a day, which is a fantastic acting challenge. But they all use the same equipment, so it's not resetting any of that. But yes, they all
Just
have their own
props and
costumes,
stuff.
their own props. So
Yeah.
there is breakdown and setup of all of that. But
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you
Really?
so
gym
much.
membership, as I like to,
What is it called?
my gym membership.
Your gym. Yeah, right. That's what I would call it.
Wow. So wonderful to meet
Oh,
you. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming on, Cheryl.
thank you for having
We
me so
adore
much.
you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Anne. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.